Falling dreams are almost always scary because for most people, falling is scary. In this video, I'll go through 6 things it could mean if you dream of falling. These are 6 messages your subconscious might be trying to tell you. I'm Karen and I dream a lot, and I like to study and talk about dreams and dream interpretation. If you like to talk about dreams and dream interpretation, join me in the comments below. Let me know what your thoughts are. Have you had falling dreams? And if so, what are your questions about them? What are your thoughts about falling dreams? After I talk about the possible meanings, I'm going to talk about the belief that you will die if you don't wake up before hitting the ground in a falling dream. I'll also touch on that jerking feeling you get when you're falling asleep, and then tell you what can you do if you do get this message from your subconscious. If you get one of these messages, if you've had a falling dream, what is it that your subconscious wants you to do? What can you do about it? The first thing to think about when you have any kind of dream is, what were you feeling in the dream? Were you having a good feeling or a not so good feeling? And in a falling dream, if you were not frightened of falling and you were just falling and maybe it felt fine, that actually means that you are overcoming obstacles, that you're in the process. Maybe there's something overwhelming, and you'll see a little bit more about what falling means in general. So maybe you're facing a huge project, a new job, a new relationship, a move, or a loss, and yet you're doing okay with it. You're kind of overcoming the obstacles. If you felt good when you were falling, then that message is that you're doing okay. And the next message is that you feel that you are lacking support. You're probably in the middle of something pretty big that's happening, has been happening either 2 or 3 days before your dream or even for a longer period, but something triggered the dream a couple days ago in real life, and you feel like you have no support. You're lacking support in whatever it is that you're facing. This could be at work, it could be at school, it could be in a job, it could be in a relationship, or it could be in a creative endeavor. But something around you is making you feel like you don't have any support. And that's the message your subconscious is trying to bring up to you to say, hey, it's time to kind of address this. The third meaning is kind of similar to lack of support. It could be that you feel like you are out of control, that there's not enough control, that things are getting out of control. Again, it's about having something overwhelming happening, and therefore you feel out of control in this whole situation. And so that's definitely the same feeling that we get when we're falling. That's what your subconscious is telling you, that you are feeling like you don't have control of the situation. Then again, we'll talk at the end about what do you do? How do you figure that out? A fourth thing that it could mean is that you feel insecure. This is more common in dreams around loss. So if you've been experiencing a job loss, or you've lost your house, or you've lost a person in your life, and that is definitely overwhelming. A falling dream can be an indication that you feel some insecurity around yourself. This can be financial insecurity. It can be feeling emotionally insecure. Maybe you feel insecure around other people and you're not sure how people are thinking about you. This could be maybe in a job situation. Also, feelings of insecurity, wondering what people are thinking about you, can indicate feelings of low self-esteem. And again, your subconscious is here to point out to you things that you might not be aware of in your waking life that you're feeling. And I don't know, maybe some people like me, I'm like, I know I feel low self-esteem. I don't need my subconscious telling me that. But sometimes we go about things and we don't quite realize exactly that we do feel low self-esteem. And our subconscious is wanting to point that out to us because, again, and I'll tell you at the end, what do you do if these are the messages your subconscious is telling you? If you're getting value from this video, would you please click the like button below? That way other people can learn a little bit more about why they're having falling dreams as well. Thank you. A fifth meaning of a falling dream, let's say that you're kind of in the beginning stages of a transformation or something happening. You are feeling overwhelmed. Just a general feeling of overwhelm. You can kind of see this throughout each of the different meanings I've already talked about. But again, a falling dream might not be too specific, and you may have been like, well, I don't really feel like there's no security and I don't feel like there's things out of control, but I do feel overwhelmed. Then that's what it means, right? It's just a general feeling of, oh, there's a lot going on. You are probably facing a big struggle, trying to get something off the ground even, possibly, right? Trying to start a project, trying to start a new business, business or start a new job, or you're starting a new relationship, any of those things can be kind of a major struggle. You're maybe having some relationship issues with your family members. It doesn't have to be a love relationship. It can be brothers and sisters, parents, children. All of those things can bring up major struggle, and then that can cause the falling dream. And the sixth possible meaning is there's just a general feeling of not having achieved a goal that you set. A lot of times we set goals and we work towards something, and maybe there's a deadline. Let's say there's a big sale that you're trying to close at work, and it's a huge goal. Everybody's working towards it. You may be in the middle of trying to achieve that goal, and the falling dream, you have a falling dream, and then that's pointing out to you that you're really worried more than you maybe thought that you're not achieving this goal. Or let's say you didn't achieve the goal. It's already known. The client went with someone else. You might feel that you hadn't achieved the goal and then would have that flying dream. This also points out when you have any kind of dream, it's referring to something that happened 1 to 3 days earlier that might have triggered whatever the message is, right? That doesn't mean, though, that it wasn't part of something bigger that was happening in your life. But try to look back at what happened 2 or 3 days ago that this might be talking about. I mentioned the feeling that sometimes that you get where you are falling asleep and then you have that jerk feeling. That kind of comes under falling dreams. Sometimes if you look it up in a dream dictionary, you're like, well, I really felt like I was falling. I didn't just dream I was falling. I really felt like I was falling. And I've had these, and I'm going to do another video with going more into my story, but I had them at a time when it was January after what I call my big year of bad things. I lost my mom, I had a divorce, I lost my dog, like everything went away. Talk about feeling out of control and overwhelmed and loss. Definitely a lot of that. And after that had all happened, and I thought I was kind of doing okay, and I was getting back on my feet, and I was kind of rebuilding, I went through a period of a lot of dreams of falling, like falling on the sidewalk, tripping on the sidewalk and falling. Or, when you're a kid and somebody comes up behind you and they do your knees, right? That jerk. Lots of that. So when you have that, and those are really common, and we actually have those, they're called myoclonic jerks or hypnagogic jerks. We actually have them a lot and we don't know it. And generally they're very small and teeny tiny, and just little muscles in our body do them as we fall asleep. Fall asleep being kind of the little key word here. But it can get bigger where it affects your sleep, where it wakes you up. For me, it was waking me up, and it was anxiety. And so I ended up, talking to my doctor and getting medicine and doing a whole lot of stuff. It became a big journey, let's put it that way. So if you are having those, probably look at, okay, am I feeling a sense of like something's going to jump out and surprise me? Because that's kind of how I felt. Like I was like, what one more thing is going to come out and surprise me, right? So are you feeling that? Look at that. But if you're having them way more often, definitely you want to talk to a doctor and or psychologist about that. All sleep problems can be resolved. I know a lot of times people just suffer with their sleep problems, but almost all of them can be resolved. So I would highly encourage you to get professional help if you are having sleep problems. So what about the belief that if you fall in a dream and you hit the ground, that you're going to die? Okay, so there's a couple of ways this goes. Some people say if you dream that you hit the ground, that's a message that you're going to die. No, it's not. Dreams do not tell you that you're going to die. Well, I'm going to say 99% of the time, dreams do not tell you that you're going to die. So I can't say that with 100% accuracy. A lot of what people think is, oh, that's a message that I'm going to die, is not. It's talking about psychological things. It's talking about emotional things. So it's not so much that you're going to die if you have this, if you fall and you hit the ground in the dream. And also some people believe that the reason they've never had the dream when you're falling and you do hit, because most people just dream of falling and then they wake up, right? You dream of falling and then you wake up. You don't dream of falling and then you actually hit the ground and then you wake up. So most people think that, oh, that's because if I had hit the ground, that would have been me dying.
I have been falling for 30 minutes.
Again, that's not how it works. Actually, what it means when you hit the ground in a dream is that you're at the bottom of the crap, right? You're at the bottom of the pit. You're at the rock bottom. You've hit bottom. And while nobody wants to hit bottom, the positive thing about that is that only up from here. So if you do have a dream where you fall and you don't wake up before you hit bottom, that's still everything I just said. It's going to be one of these about either lack of control or lack of support or feeling insecure, those kinds of things. And yet you have now kind of gotten to the bottom of everything. So see the pun there? You've gotten to the bottom of it all. And now you're in a position to figure out what to do next. So what do we do when we have this message from our subconscious? When our subconscious is really trying to get our attention and it gives us a really weird dream and we're like, what was that? All right. So we want to decide, look up in a dream dictionary. I recommend dreammoods.com as a very good place to start. Or think about what was happening in the dream and what does that mean to you? What does that represent? So if you were to describe falling to someone from another planet where things don't fall, maybe they don't have gravity, right? So you would explain falling to them. And as you are explaining it, where you might say, well, it's this sensation where you are going very quickly down where you don't want to go, and it's because gravity, we have gravity here on Earth, and gravity pulls you down to the ground. Is any of that how you're feeling? Are you feeling like you're being pulled down to the ground when you're trying to go up high? Again, not reaching your goals, right? So think about how you would define falling. All right, so we've decided, let's say you've looked at the possible meanings and you're like, you know what? I feel like I don't have any support. This is definitely the message of the dream. The dream said you are feeling a lack of support at this big project you're trying to do. What do? You can journal about it a little bit and feel like, and that's so start to look at where in my life do I feel I'm lacking support. And maybe when you first wake up, you're not really sure if it's at work or at home or with family or whatever it might be. So you want to kind of take time. A dream is an opportunity for you to take time for yourself, to listen to yourself. What is it, your message? What's your inner wisdom? What is your subconscious saying to you? So it's calling you back to yourself. Tap in, listen. Where do I not feel support? And then when you decide and figure out, maybe it's everywhere. Like that year for me, I felt like I had no support at all. And so it was no surprise that I was having a ton of experiences in my sleep that I didn't have any support, because everything was gone. Everything that had been supporting me, including my dog, was gone. So then the next thing is, okay, this is pretty important to me. I need support. I need to find support. So where do you find support? Friends, social groups, therapists, doctors, all sorts of ways that you can get support. We do need support. We might think, oh, I want to be doing this on my own. I certainly did. But support is also important. Or if you looked at your dreams and the one that seems to resonate is, well, I think I feel like there's no control. I'm out of control. Things are out of control. Where in your life are you feeling that things are out of control? And then what can you do about that? Where can you find a sense of control? You can find a sense of control in the moment, in the present moment, sitting here breathing. I have some control. So you start to focus on where in my life do I feel like I have control. And a lot of times, maybe you need to talk to somebody and say, and talk to them about, how do I get a sense of control in my life? Or how do I get a sense of control in this thing that's happening? Or let's say it's something at school and you just feel overwhelmed by all the tests. I have all these tests, I have all these projects, I feel like everything's out of control. All right, so where can you sit down and try to put some control into your life? Put some discipline, or put some schedules, or ask for a study partner, that kind of stuff, to where you can start to, okay, things are getting out of control. Just because things feel out of control doesn't mean we don't have the ability to get a feeling of control. We just need to pay attention, maybe. Maybe it's just a matter of saying, oh yeah, things are starting to get, they're starting to get a lot of projects and I'm starting to have a lot that I have to do. So I need to be a little more aware of my schedule, and maybe, so that's basically what you can do if you have one of these messages, is look at where in your life you are feeling that feeling, and then get the resources you need, talk to someone, become present, find a book, get online, any of those things, all the things that we do to help ourselves. So your dreams are wanting you to come back to yourself and listen to what's important to you. What are you maybe not aware of is important. Your dreams are telling you, hey, this is important. Sometimes falling dreams can become flying dreams. I don't know if you've ever had one of those where you were falling and then you were flying, and that's actually kind of got a really cool message. Flying dreams are very fun. Most people like them, want to have them more often. I'm one of those people. So if you've ever had a flying dream and you want to know what that means, check the next video out. And thank you for watching this one.